place, never to see you.
Good morning. It is currently, I don't know, maybe like 6 now. I've done my morning routine, which took me so much longer because I was vlogging and I always forget how much longer it takes. But regardless, I'm gonna start getting ready for my day. I've got a really exciting day today. I've got a bit of filming to do and then I'm gonna head out into central London. I've got a meeting at Apple's Covent Garden store. And then I'm gonna hang around London, get some work done and just fill you in on what's been going on with life, show you how I organise my day, that kind of stuff. So excited. Before I get started though, shameless plug, because I realised in my vlogs I always show you like what podcasts I'm listening to, and I'm never listening to my own podcast because that would be weird, but I do have my own podcast now. It's called The Creators Corner with Jade Beason. I recommend checking it out. I've got like 6 or 7 episodes so far and people have been really loving it, so I'll put a link in the description.
Take it away, feeling too good to me. Chilling all day, all in your space is where I wanna be. Here in this room, what did you do? I just can't get enough. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like, oh yeah,
So I'm gonna film some content for my membership club, which is called the Creators Club. Every single month I give a member opportunity to get one of these audits from me. So I actually offer like bespoke audits for your Instagram, for your YouTube. But in the Creators Club, I will do one free audit and I'll just pick someone at random and I will film the process of me auditing their account. So they get the document, but they also get like a video of me talking through all of my feedback for their channel. So I'm gonna do this month's now and then I'm gonna head out.
you're the reason I'm going out my mind. I just can't stop thinking about you.
I've also decided to film myself on my phone doing like a stop motion, which I'll use for like reels and stories and stuff like that, whilst filming the actual audit masterclass on another phone and filming the vlog on a camera. So I've got 3 cameras pointed at me at the minute. It's a bit intense for a Monday morning, but whatever. Okay.
All that I crave when you're away, nights are sleepless. Do we need space? Yeah, maybe a break. Boy, you're my weakness.
Hey creators, welcome to this month's audit masterclass.
Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you. I feel your presence on my skin. I feel you spreading out within. This time you got a hold on me. 'Cause now I look at you differently. Differently. Don't say I realized too late. Don't say you wanna give me space. Ooh, this time you got a hold on me. 'Cause now I look at you differently.
So I just got done with my meeting at Apple. For those of you who don't know, I hope you can hear me. For those of you who don't know, I am hosting a workshop at Apple's Covent Garden store on the 1st of September, and today's meeting was like a tech run through with all the people who are going to be there on the day and like people who help organise it, and I'm really excited. It was like, I'll show you some photos, because when I walked in they had my photo like blown up on their wall, and it was the most confronting thing in like high def. I don't know how I felt about it. I couldn't look at my face for too long, it was massive, but I'm really excited. And unfortunately I couldn't vlog the whole thing because we were having like a private meeting, and it'll probably spoil it for some people who are going to be watching it. But yeah, it's next week. If it hasn't happened yet, I'll put a link in the description because I'm not sure when I'm uploading this video, and hopefully we're going to be live streaming it as well, so if you're not from the UK you should be able to watch it. I'm very excited. I've been working on this behind the scenes for like months. It's a big day. So now I'm just going to update my keynote following that meeting, and then I might go somewhere else for lunch. So day got off to a good start, however my lunch was very disappointing, and I found I sound like such a brat, but the cafe I was in was so cold I couldn't handle it. I was freezing, so I've abandoned central London. I'm going to come home and I'm going to work from home in the afternoon, and then we have a bit of a catch up and I'll fill you in with what's going on in life. Hello, so I'm back home. I'm absolutely exhausted. I do not understand how I used to commute 5 times a week, or how people do that now, because I'm so tired. Like, just traveling to London and traveling back really takes it out of me now. I'm so tired. Anyway, so I'm back home. I've still got loads of work to do, so I need to, like, you know, get over it and just power through. But I thought we'd have a quick catch up. I'll give you an update on how life is, because someone did ask me for an update. A few people did actually, in a Q&A that I did on my stories recently, and I guess I'm trying to think, like, have I been quiet? I think I've been quieter, but really feel like there's no such thing as me being quiet on social media, because if you have me on TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, and you follow my podcast, then even if I had a quiet week, you would still hear from me at least 5 times. So sometimes I feel like I'm never really quiet, but I reckon maybe I've been quieter than usual, and now I'm starting to pick things back up again. But there's a few things that have been happening which have disrupted me in some ways good, some ways bad. If I was to sum up how I've been feeling about business within the past like quarter, the word would be uncomfortable. And I think it's good to be uncomfortable sometimes, but the reason why I would pick the word uncomfortable is because I was going through a phase not too long ago where my business model was changing quite a bit, and I was doing a lot of brand partnerships, which were really cool and they were really fun. However, it made me feel a little bit uncomfortable because it made it harder for me to focus on other areas of my business. And essentially what I realize now is that I needed to restructure my team a bit. So I needed to up some hours in some areas, get some new resource in other areas, which is what I've now done. So now I'm going through another like uncomfortable period, but it's uncomfortable in the sense that I'm going through like a bit of growing pains. You know, I've just invested a lot of money in expanding my team. I've just hired a business coach who I'm really excited about. And you know, that was like a very big investment. Like, we're talking well into the 5 figures investment for a year. So I'm spending a lot of money. So now I'm uncomfortable in another way. You know, like my expenses have gone up and now I'm like, ugh. So it's all part of it. I know it's a growth thing. I know it's something that I have to get past. I need to invest in my business in order for it to grow. I feel really good about the investments that I've made. And I think you have to be uncomfortable a lot in business. I do just genuinely think that's almost the state that I need to get used to. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at from a business perspective. I've had a few things happen recently which have felt amazing, and then a few things happened which have rocked me a bit. The amazing stuff, I mean, this morning going to see my face like blown up in Apple's like flagship store was wild. I'm so excited for that workshop. I think it's such an amazing opportunity. And yeah, like I'm hosting a workshop for Apple. Like that's insane, right? So that's like one of the things what's been amazing. Also my podcast, I feel like I found a new passion of mine. The second I recorded my first episode for my podcast, which by the way, I had to re-record like 4 times because I changed the topic. I didn't put my mic in. It was like a whole mess. But the second I tried to record my first ever episode for that podcast, I remember when I finished, I was like, oh my God, I absolutely loved that. Like I just instantly felt I absolutely love this medium, like this form of media. Like just being able to do it in my pajamas, whenever I get an idea, I can just go in my bedroom, whip out my microphone and start talking. Like I love to talk. So podcasting for me is like a dream come true because I'm not necessarily someone who's like super into their camera gear and stuff like that. Like I want to make high quality videos for you guys, but I'm not that type of creator where I focus solely on like the editing and stuff like that. Like I have a video editor, right? I focus more on like the content that I'm delivering. So when I'm podcasting, I feel like I'm getting the absolute perfect scenario because there's no kind of tech setup, there's none of that. I'm just delivering content and I'm just talking and I can do it in my PJs whilst I've got a cup of tea in my hand. So I have loved my podcast so far and you guys have given me such amazing like reviews and stuff. I'll put a link in the description if you haven't checked it out yet, but that has been amazing for my business just from like a self-fulfillment perspective. I've just really enjoyed doing it. So that's another great thing. The things that have been rocking me a bit, I won't go into detail because they're pretty personal basically. It's nothing really business wise, but some stuff has been happening mostly in regards to health, and that's like the hardest thing because you just can't control it. There's like makes you feel quite helpless. So that's been a bit difficult. So I've had to be kind of structuring my business in a way where I'm able to take some time off next month just because I'm going to need to. When I say health, by the way, I don't necessarily mean my health. I just mean things are going on in my life which are related to health. So that has been quite tough to deal with, and I think that's been part of the reason why maybe I've not been as active on social media. Again, when I say as active, I mean my version of not being as active is like 3 Instagram posts, 5 TikToks and 2 YouTube posts a week. Like I'm still very active, but it's not quite the same as an Instagram post every day, 3 TikToks every day and 2 YouTubes every week. That's like super active, right? And I'm slowly getting back into that, but sometimes life gets in the way and that's okay. If you haven't watched my video where I talk about like being consistent on social media, I do talk about this min-max method that I like to do where I have a minimum amount of content I need to post and a maximum amount of content that I want to post. And I love that method because it means when times like this happen where life gets in the way, I can just reduce my posting frequency to my minimum and still feel like I'm hitting my goals and still feel like I'm growing my presence, which I am, right? And I feel that way because I'm still hitting my minimum target. So I don't feel guilty for not necessarily hitting my maximum target. So if you haven't watched that video yet, or if you're struggling with being consistent on social media and maybe you're going through something similar where life is getting in the way, I really recommend checking that out and trying the min-max method because it really helps me. I've also been doing a lot of public speaking recently. I went to Portugal a couple months back with Jamie and I spoke at an event called Traverse. Well, it was actually called Keyframe, but their big event is called Traverse. I'll put a link actually in my description because they've got a big event in September that they're hosting, which I unfortunately can't go to. But if it's anything like the event that I went to in July, I'll put a clip so you can see me presenting. Let's say the brand is Adidas and then you've got the creator, so that's you guys, right? What people normally think of is, okay, what value am I going to get from the brand? Then it's going to be amazing and you should check it out if you're a content creator, right? That was incredible. Like it was such an amazing experience. And then I also have been doing a bunch of different virtual events, and obviously I've got my Apple workshop next week, and I've also got a couple other workshops and speaking events. That's been another thing that I've kind of unexpectedly fallen in love with. I've never disliked public speaking. It's always been something that I felt fairly comfortable doing, and I knew that I sometimes enjoyed, but recently, like within the past year, I've realized I actually love it, which is really fun. So I'm hoping to do more of that in the future. And just 2 more things as part of my update. It has been a whole year since I started working for myself full-time. So I've been a full-time content creator for officially 1 whole year. And the wildest thing about that is that it's only been a year, because it has felt like I've been doing this forever. Like it's felt like I've been doing this my whole life. Even when I say that to my friends, they're like, no, you didn't leave your job a year ago. That was like 3 years ago. And I'm like, no, that was 12 months ago. August the 16th, 2021 was my first day working for myself. And when I look back at the things that have happened since then, it actually makes me quite emotional, like borderline tears when I think about it. It's just been like such an amazing whirlwind year. So thank you for anyone who's been either on that journey the whole time or if you've just joined. Like, I appreciate you more than you will ever know. Final update, because I don't want to blab on for too long. Someone asked me, so I asked you guys like, what do you want to hear in my update on Instagram, and someone asked me for my July insights, which I thought was interesting, and I'm assuming they were referring to my YouTube channel. So I've got my insights up and I'm going to give you a quick overview of what happened in July. So my channel accumulated 114,000 views. I had about 11,000 watch hours. I gained 1,800 subscribers, and I made from my YouTube channel £1,615, which is pretty good. It's funny because it depends how you look at it. So for me, when I look at my year, that's pretty good because it's summertime, people aren't online as much, and it is a little bit of an increase from like my June, right? So to me, that looks on par. However, if you compare it to my July last year was, I think, either the biggest or one of the biggest months of my entire channel. I had 247,000 views. So that's more than double the amount of views that I've had this year. However, I think most content creators, especially within my niche, would tell you a similar story, right? That last year they potentially had more views, especially people within my niche who started in 2020, which I didn't, but I imagine their insights look even crazier. Like in 2020, they must have had a huge peak, slightly fewer views last year, and then even less this year. It's purely a reflection of the fact that people are working again in their offices, they're not on YouTube as much, and that's totally normal, it's totally okay, and it's also kind of predicted. It's what I would have expected. By no means does it cause me any alarm. It just to me means that things are like settling down from a period where things were a bit wild. We're now kind of leveling out. So yeah, I think it's going pretty good. Right, I'm gonna get back to work, and in a bit I'm gonna show you how I've been planning my week recently, because I've had the most productive days I think I've ever had working by myself recently. Like, it is unreal the amount of work that I've been getting done. So I'm going to show you my new planning method a little bit later. So I'm going to wrap up this vlog in a second, but before I do so, let me just tell you about my new planning method, right? So if you've watched any of my other productivity related videos before, you'll know that I use Asana for everything. So I like to use Asana to map out basically my whole year. Like, I've got plans for the next 12 months in my Asana. I like to use Asana because I have a small team who also use Asana, so I can assign tasks to them. But also, if you're running like a business as well as being a content creator, it's important that you have a planning tool which gives you that kind of foresight. So I know some people will use like Todoist or like just other kind of apps to set reminders and plan things, and I think that works really well on a day-to-day basis. But if you are making like long-term goals, then I think you need a platform like Asana, because it gives you that kind of longevity, right? So I use Asana, and what I do is on a weekly basis, I map out my entire week. So every single week, I'll put an example on the screen. I'll be able to see every single task that I need to do that week, and it's all color coded based on the work stream, right? So what I used to do was sit down with like my paper planner and time block my day based on what my Asana said I had to get done. And I still do that method, but I've started doing it on my Google Calendar. I'm not quite sure what made me do this. I think I was just getting frustrated with my paper planner, but I started doing it on my Google Calendar, and let me just get it up on the screen so you can see what my last week looks like. So last week was the first week where I did this method, and when I show you this, it's gonna look a tad overwhelming, but this is what my week looked like last week. Now, bear in mind that there are some days where I started at 5, I started work at 5 today as well. At the start of the week, I start really early and I work quite late, but it's because I have so much energy. So I just try and make the most of it. And then I slowly start to like have more normal length days as the week goes on. And then I'm usually pretty chill by Friday. So this is what last week looks like. Can you tell that I like to color code? Big fan of color coding me. All the colors correspond with the same colors in my Asana. I sound like a psychopath, but it's just brings me so much joy. So what I do at the end of each day is I'll get my Asana up and I'll plan the following day, and I'll plan it based on a few different things. So at the start of the day, I will always put whatever task is the most important, but also whatever task I know that I don't want to do. Sometimes it's not even that I don't want to do it. You know, there's just some tasks which, like, you know, you kind of want to put off. You know, you always have that thing that you need to do, but then you just put it off for the next day. Whatever that is, as long as it's important, I will put it first, so I get it out of the way, right? And then I'll continue putting those tasks based on importance and how much time and effort it takes. And I'll continue to put all of those in the morning if I possibly can, because I'm just considerably more productive in the morning. So that's what I'll do. And then I'll also schedule in like walks and breaks as well, because otherwise I won't take them. And then after lunch, usually I'll schedule things that I find easy or enjoyable, or I can do whilst watching TV. Perfect example, right? Today, I needed to create a new landing page for my website. I find the copywriting bit the hardest, so I scheduled that for the morning because I knew that's something that I don't necessarily, it doesn't come naturally to me. So it might be something I would put off if I left it later in the day, but it's very important. So I put it in the morning and I got it done this morning. The actual design of the website is the last thing I'm going to do today because I love doing that. I don't always do it because big website updates are very time consuming. They're big projects, so I get my team to help me. But when it's a one-off page like this, I actually find doing the design so therapeutic. I could just watch TV whilst doing it. So, and I just love doing that kind of stuff. So I've put it in the afternoon because I know that I can just put on a movie or something, have a cup of tea and get that done, and it won't even feel like work. So it's the perfect afternoon task, right? Again, this isn't that different to what I used to do. The difference is just using Google Calendar. It's such a game changer because, let me show you my today's day. So this is what it looks like from a day's perspective, right? This has been like I was gonna say a fairly easy day. I mean, I got up at 5 a.m, so maybe not fairly easy, but essentially what I'll do a blank one for you. I haven't planned Wednesday yet, but let's just say I'm planning Wednesday. What I'll do is I'll look at my Asana and I'll just start entering different things that I need to do and paying attention to how long they'll take. So I don't even need to put them in order yet. So let's say I need to film YouTube video, right? I will color code it. I'll go down here. YouTube and content is always pink. And then I know that to film 2 YouTube videos, which maybe that's what I'm doing, I need like 2.5 hours nowadays. Takes me a little while. So let's say I've got 2.5 hours. I'll put that in there. And then let's say I need to answer DMs. That will usually take me an hour. I'll put that in there. That's social. And then let's say I need to do like, I'm just going to do a couple of examples. Let's say I need to create a masterclass for TCC, which is the Creators Club. So I do those every month, and usually that will take me a couple of hours. So let's say that's going to take me 2.5 hours, and then that's usually green, right? So I'll save it and I'll do that for all of my tasks. And because I'm so used to time blocking, I know how long I need to do each task. So I'll do that, and I'll also throw in like a hour walk. I like to do quite long walks and listen to podcasts. Elk. That's not what I meant to say. Walk. Okay, and then I'll usually put walk in green, just because a different shade of green, because it's just like a nice color. And I'm going to be doing a nice thing. So let's look at this, right? What I love about Google Calendar and why I've been using it is because I can just hold the different tasks and move them around. So it becomes so much easier to plan my day. Like I just write them all down, then I just start moving things around. And if things aren't going to plan, I can just update my day by moving things around like that, just dragging and dropping. And that is a game changer. I like writing things down because I feel like they help solidify them in my brain almost. So I do miss writing things down, but at the same time, like this is so much easier. I'll just look at my day, rearrange things and be like, well, I've got to do that in the morning, which means maybe I need to wake up at 5, or, you know, or maybe by this schedule, I'm going to be done by 4, you know. It's just so much, I can't even explain it, guys. It's really been a game changer for me. Will I stick to this method forever? I highly doubt it. But at the moment, I'm a fan and it's working. Okay, so that's it for now. I'm wrapping it up. I've still got some more work to do. It's only like 3 o'clock, but I'm just going to get in my pajamas and open a window. I can't open windows when I film because of the sound and it's really warm. So I just want to get in my PJs and open a window and have a bloody cup of tea, you know, get some air in. So it's not going to be anything interesting to you, but thank you for watching this vlog. I've not done a vlog in a while, so I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, I'll see you in my next one, I suppose. If you feel like hanging around, I recommend watching this video. It's all about my workflow as a content creator. So I think it's very fitting given what I just spoke to you guys about, and I'll see you in my next video.